All right, what's going on, guys? This is Dan from StockAbility. In this video, I'm going to show you some insights to how to look at options flow or unusual options activity. That being said, before I start this video, make sure to like, subscribe. Just below this video, there's a little bell to hit that button every time that we upload a video. It'll send you an email with a new video upload. So the topic for today is unusual options activity, options flow. The reason I'm bringing it up today is I was teaching in our options abilities course where I teach directional options trading. And we were going through basically a few things today, and I saw an order come through on Netflix. It was a good teaching element. I wanted to give you a short 2-3 minute insight to this particular topic. So the topic is unusual options activity in options flow. So I'm here to tell you from trading institutionally in markets before, I have never really seen this concept that's been used of like options flow or option sweeps to determine whether a stock is going higher or lower. So do I believe unusual options activity? Look, I believe on it when you use it on biotech stocks, on momentum stocks, on high beta stocks. I do not believe in it. It's too hard to discern an edge. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but again, I guess to each their own, right? So I'm going to talk about a few things here, but I'm going to show you why in some scenarios do I look at unusual options activity or options flow to make a trading decision. The answer is still no, but does it help me sometimes to kind of gain a little bit more insight? The answer is yes to that. So I'm going to use Netflix as the example. I'm going to talk about this here. So Netflix has been stuck in a range basically since last June. Okay, every Sunday with a few friends and associates I used to trade with, we typically do a call. Sometimes it's 2 of us, sometimes it's 5 of us. And this weekend we were looking at a few names, and what I noticed was on a lot of tech names, right, especially Netflix, this thing has been stuck in a range. It's basically trading 480, 560, 480, 560. So there's no trend on this at all. You're basically trading sideways. This happens in futures markets. It also obviously happens in equities markets. Now, again, if you've watched some of our videos, if you've gone to our webinars and you've looked at some of my past stuff, I don't believe in trading indicators, MACD, Bollinger Bands, moving averages. None of this stuff is going to tell you if a stock is going to break a trading range. Okay, so this comes with time. This comes with reading price action. It comes with understanding what price could do. Now, this obviously takes time to learn. It's something that we discuss in our programs, but I want to just kind of give you insights to my analysis on Netflix here and how I'm tying this concept of sideways market into an unusual or larger than average options order. Okay, so this has been trading sideways. I obviously noticed that, and it's just not doing much. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. When smart money looks at markets, right, they have earnings here in a month. Smart money is not like a retail trader. They don't go in the day before and start buying directional options or directional puts and straight gambling on the stock on whether earnings works or not. Now, again, I know that's a big strategy out there. It may work, it may not. I'm not into gambling. If I was into gambling, I'd probably just go play blackjack or poker, whatever it is. I try to take a different approach to markets, and that's basically probably my training from past years. Okay, so smart money looks at these moves ahead of time. So you've got a earnings event potentially here. This has been trading in a range. Okay, it tried to break at last earnings, right, but really couldn't do much. Okay, so could this be the attempt that it breaks out? I don't know. If we look at trend signals on this, could it continue to trade higher? Yeah, by all means, this isn't a trend higher. It could make a move higher. So as a speculator, I want to take this approach that, hey, look, this is stuck in a range. I want to be long this. So as of today, I'm long this position. I might add to this, okay? Now, I might add to this in the event that earnings are ahead, right? Now, what I'm not going to do, and I'm going to show you in a second, is I'm not going to take this approach that, hey, there's a $1.4 million options order today. That's the reason I'm buying on this stock, right? Again, I'll talk about it briefly here. Let me go to actually the options screen. I'm going to show you something right now. So I'm on the options screen now. And one of the things I noticed today in our options abilities class, I was going through, I noticed something here on the option time and sale. So there's a $1.4 million single order placed today on the September 500 calls. Okay, so these are deep in the money. Typically, something like this, in my experience, is institutional. Very rarely you're going to find a retail trader going A, in the money like this, but B, this far out in duration on time. So again, this is a 200 size position times 70, basically a $1.4 million trade on Netflix. Now, again, most trading services that I've seen tout this, right? Now, typically, like a lot of information, it gets lost in translation. What happens is people will take this and say, look, there's a sweep, there's a $1.4 million order. That must mean the stock is going higher. Now, typically, the retail trader, people don't understand markets, they'll typically buy it based off of this news. Now, let me tell you why this is flawed, why I've never used this in my career. I've seen institutional traders lose tens of millions of dollars by trading. You can't always trust quote unquote smart money. They get it wrong too. Number two is if you're solely buying Netflix based on this piece of information data, you're speculating on another speculator, right? There's no real quantifiable data to give you why you want to trade it higher, okay? So I'm already long this. So when I look at this at the close today, I look at this and say, you know, that's an interesting bet, okay? I understand the bet here. Now, this could be a hedge. It could be a lot of things. It's hard to discern what that data is. When I look at the markets, I look at price charts, I look at a lot of other information that tells me why I want to be long Netflix. But I look at this now and I'm like, you know what? Technically, based on technical charts rather, and based on a few other reasons, I want to be long Netflix, maybe to 540, 550. Now I look at this and I'm like, man, that's a pretty confident bet 1 month ahead of earnings. So what does this do for me? What it does for me is this. It is I have April options on this. Now I may come out and say, you know what? Because earnings in there, there's a pretty sizable bet. I might come in. I haven't done it yet. I'm just saying I'm considering it mentally. And it depends on price action and a few other things this week. I might come in and look at like the 535s or the 510 call options for May as well, right? I might take a larger position. But what I don't do as a trader is I don't take somebody else's order and say, you know what? Just because there's $4 million placed on this, I'm going to go and throw a trade on, right? This kind of strategy, options flow, unusual options activity, works extremely well in biotech stocks and stocks like this. Let me give you an example. On a stock like Priceline, BKNG, this is a very expensive stock. You're not going to see retail traders trading in this market. It's just too expensive of a stock to day trade, typically mid caps, micro caps, penny stocks, or where a lot of retail speculators speculate, okay? So it only trades 500,000 shares a day. If you look at the options flow on a stock like this, right, this doesn't really trade too much in the options world. So if I were to see an order come through for, let's say, $500,000 on the call or put side, now that's more indicative. That's more a piece of information I can use as a trader to say, hey, look, this is where the direction may flow to. On a stock like Netflix and a stock like Tesla, on a stock like Apple, they trade millions of dollars in options on a daily basis. So it's tough to really read an edge on that. So again, this video is kind of twofold, kind of giving you some insight to why I want to be long Netflix, but also, again, why I'm showing you guys that sometimes using this options flow concept or sweeps, it works, but it's really lacking a lot of things. You've got to put a little bit more pieces into your analysis when you're making trading and investing decisions. So hopefully this video helps. If you have more questions, make sure to reach out. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the little button below. As we upload content, you'll be able to look at this content. If you want to attend one of our webinars, we have some webinars coming up as well. I discuss these concepts and more in our Options Abilities course. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good trading week.